let's see if he wants to prioritize that or other items. But for me, I feel like this game is all on Ava. Would you agree?
I agree as well. And the magic damage, right? Like, again, you've got the Atrophy Aura. You've got a really beefy, high HP pull hero in the Centaur and the Underlord. So that max HP damage that you're able to do off of the, what is it called again? Noxious Plague, the Veno ulti, the new one. It's going to do a lot of work this game, and it's going to force them to have to go into, a pipe, and maybe that just gives you a little bit more of a window for PA to get some farm, but you really need to be looking to snowball a little bit here. And, well, again, like we've been saying, heroes like the Underlord with a Pit of Malice, Monkey King with the Wukongs, the Centaur just being able to stampede away makes it very hard for you to get that right initiation on Piggy Killer.
Now, for you as the enjoyer, position 5 Veno enjoyer, if we put your minds into a 3, what are we feeling like the item progression for Ava is going to be this game?
I think you could still look to go for an urn. I don't know if you necessarily want to rush the vessel after that. If you might just need to still provide a little bit of protection to your team through some sort of aura. Like, it's probably not going to be the Crimson Guard, just because if you're getting hit, it's going to be for a huge amount, right? Centaur obviously already hits quite hard. A lot of his damage comes through from the spells. Underlord as well. If you're killing creeps, heroes around the area, the Atrophy Aura just makes you hit like a truck. Same sort of thing with the TA. So something like Crimson Guard actually doesn't give too much value against these big hits. And you would assume that Chen is going to be the one going into the Guardian Greaves as well. So I wonder what he could look to go after that. Maybe if it's just going to be something like, I don't know, could you go in only Shivas? Probably not. Is it going to be a Halberd perhaps on the Venomancer? I'm not quite sure. It could even just be rushing that Aghanim Scepter after the urn, honestly.
Yeah, I wonder. I like the Halberd call, especially. I think you will need to fit it in somewhere, because that's how we saw them trying to address the Templar Assassin last game. I mean, they had 2 Halberds, right? So it's just a question of, like, really how good of a game Ava has. If you have the luxury of going for that item, then sure, it's going to be great. But maybe if you're not off to a good start, you might not be able to dive into that Halberd to act as utility. You might need help with the damage, like you said, with the Scepter. So let's see the route the Venomancer wants to go. What about the Riki as well? We've got a Riki mid lane. So I know there are some people experimenting with this even before the patch. What do we want it specifically for XM in this game, though? What are we hoping out of him?
So I was thinking with the the Riki, when I saw it previously, sorry, I got Veno on the mind. When I see the Riki, I want to see him making the most use out of that pick-off potential, right? And you've got slows to be able to do it, but again, the damage is the real area that I'm seeing them lacking. So with the Riki, I still think you have to go Meteor Hammer just to give you a little bit more of that aggressive push. I think Diffusal Blade is fine, just to be able to reduce a little bit of the mana that, for example, Underlord is able to play around, because then you feel a little bit more confident to be able to go in with your Chen creeps, for example. You're not worried about them getting Firestormed or Pit of Malice if you're just playing with 0 mana. But yeah, after that, Aghanim Shard probably is the way to go to be able to try and find these pickoffs. It really doesn't feel like you're going to be able to find that kill threat, though, until PA actually joins you. In a lot of games, I think you can get away with second item Aghanim Shard on the Riki, but who's really going to be able to secure these kills outside of the PA for you? Really no one, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so as well. Well, man, last time we saw Fly play the Phantom Assassin, he had an incredible game, and a lot of the damage came out from him early because of how well the lane went. So who knows? I mean, Chen
wasn't
PA
into
is
the TA though, sadly.
No, that's the thing. But still, the lane we're expecting it to be pretty difficult. Like Centaur Morana doesn't seem like they're going to have too difficult of a time against the Chen, and they've got a lot of return kill potential with their nuke, with that fade. Sorry, with the Hoofsomp to set up for the arrow. Maybe one thing that could be an issue is just the lack of armor on the Centaur. So that's maybe something he's got to respect. He does have a Ring of Protection, but Fly also has a Blightstone as well. So maybe that could be a big issue for Molasses in this lane.
All right, I have a question for you. I know you're not the analyst, but screw it. What do you think PA needs if Piggy Killer are going to win this game in terms of an item build? Because I've got something in mind. I just want to know what your thoughts are. I'm talking a big item, not just the standard, Battle Fury, Deso, blah, 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 blah. What does he need?
He might... I think the build-ups might be Treads, Corrosion. Corrosion's an iffy one. I don't know if he'll go that for the lane. If he does, he might be able to avoid the Deso. But Treads, Corrosion, I don't know if he's going to be able to avoid BKB. I'm thinking of a Manta, because I think getting out of Root's going to be nice. Potential Atos, and again, dealing with the Refraction, because it's only Veno, and we saw him value the Manta last game. I don't know if a Nullify is required. I'd like the Ag Shard picked up pretty early on.
I absolutely want to see a Nullify this game, just to...
Okay.
Before we get too much action. I will expand on that, but TZ, once again, just patrolling around, making sure to reveal a lot around the map, and it should be... Is that still 2 for 2? Yeah, looks like it is. So the Nullifier specifically, because of the combination together with the Riki, right? So it means that you can even jump onto one of these people that gets caught inside the Aghanim Shard smoke cloud, and they can't force themselves away, even if you jump on the 4-star fire. And, you know, if someone tries to apply all of these things onto you through auras, you can look to remove them, right? That Nullifier might allow you to actually burst down one of these targets. So I think that's going to be a pretty big timing for them if Piggy Killer are able to get up into that. But beyond that, I'm almost considering, like, do you need to get a Rapier this game on
top
PA?
lane? Arrow's going to connect on Frisk, so they might actually turn for the Rubik instead. And they're going to be able to secure first blood off the back of that. It's
I've been
Marvel
waiting
that
to see
gets
this.
Yeah.
You know, that early kill based off of a little bit of slow coming through, of course. The arrow connecting does help things a little bit, and then you can just move down towards the bot side of the map and instantly help out a Centaur, which really shouldn't have too hard of a start of the game. They didn't block up the small camp, so I'm not sure what outside is playing with there to the left of the tier 1, to the top of the tier 1 tower. If you're able to get into that Harpy Stormcrafter, it feels real nice.
He's got the Vul Assassin.
Yeah, not that great for this lane. So at least it's better than the small camper kobolds, but, you know, it certainly could be, like, if you're able to get into a ghost, or even just the healing creep wouldn't be too bad, just to make sure that the PA is able to stay in the lane and farm completely uncontested and not have to worry too much about the regen. Do you think a Rapier is needed? I think it could get to that stage. Nullify is going to give them a lot, but I think it could be one of these times. If Flyfly is able to get a bunch of kills, though, that certainly helps things. What if he does?
Looks like he should be able to, but he might, with the double edge coming up, Molasses. Ooh. Can he stay onto his target? Flyfly's got a little bit of extra movement speed, so be able to just get out of range of that potential nuke to turn it around. There's a big creep wave out of the tower. The Centaur has to go back and claim. The Rapier... I mean, so where are you going to fit that in? Where are you? Is this like a last attempt Rapier to come back in, or are you wanting this like even when they're not from behind, playing from behind?
Yeah, first item Rapier. No, I'm expecting it to come after the Nullifier, to be honest, right? I think the way that they're going to be able to win this game is off a quick pickoff that Meteor just don't have a way to respond to. Like, if you're already going into the Nullifier before that, then they probably... You have a lot of damage, right, off the back of that Sacred Relic. Of course, you're probably going to have a Desolator as well. Able to dodge out the Poison Sting stacks onto himself, so that helps a little bit. I like the fact that he hasn't gone into the Refraction up until the level 3, though, realizing that it's pretty much useless into this Veno lane. But yeah, I think you just need to be able to get the kill onto someone before you get the Moonlight Shadow off, before Centaur is able to get the Stampede off. And speaking of Centaur, he's going to be the one going down. Before you can jump away on the Monkey King, before TA, like maybe you catch her without the Refraction for a split second. You know, things like that. I think that's what they need on Piggy Killer.
Okay.
Even just the auras,
going to come off. Yeah, but we see outside currently not putting a lot more emphasis on his own game, looking to try and secure Flyflies at the moment. He is off to a pretty good start. Meanwhile, as a mid lane going for Echoes, well, he's off to a great time as well, 23-2 compared to the 19-1. And I think it's going to get a little bit more favorable as the lane goes on for Echoes, just with that extra points in the Atrophy aura to help CS over XM. But this is definitely going to be a lane where we're not expecting any kills. It's just a farm fest between the two.
I think so. I mean... XM doesn't have the greatest way to quickly farm the waves. It really should be Echo is getting a ton of denies for this lane, but right now he just wants to make sure he always has that potential. Oh, Kale coming through a little bit here to be able to get those firestorms off consistently, right? Because Ricky is not one of these heroes that can just secure range creeps from afar, basically. So you want to keep him as bullied as possible.
We're ready to make a play happen, though. As bottom, that's where the play is going to be. Masters goes down to the dagger from afar. Marblu, nothing he's able to do to protect the Centaur, it looks like. So this lane is going much better for Piggy Killer than I was expecting.
This is the way that you need to play, though, right? If you're going to pick a Centaur, it's clear why they did it, but he doesn't have the greatest time in being able to recover his net worth if you just give him a bit more of a rough start. So if you can get that lucky creep, we can see there the PA was able to play around with the troll net creep first to be able to get that first kill onto the supports. But then you're also able to use the Hill Troll Priest here to give a little bit of extra regen for the lane, just to allow Flyfly to stay in this lane and continue to farm. He's not going to be bullied out.
I wonder what Molasses is going to do with his skill build now, because he's gone a 2-2 build, no points in Retaliate. But he's going Vanguard, and often when you see Vanguard, you put a little bit more emphasis on your, of course, passive and Retaliate, so...
They've got the break creep, the Berserker, so maybe that's the reason why. Blue. I think he's going to be putting a lot of emphasis on that Starstorm for the lane, just to make sure that he's able to deal as much damage to the creeps as possible. Of course, if Centaur gets in the right spot, just a quick double edge can look to deal with him quite well. He's got that Vanguard available, so maybe now after picking up the Lotus at the 6-minute mark, you can see this Mirana look to make a rotation. Might just look to go straight down to the through the rift and then make a bit of a move up towards the top side. Looking to try and maybe get a lucky arrow off first. Alas is just putting himself on the front lines, but even if he landed the stomp there, he was playing behind the range creep. So good awareness coming through from Flyfly on his PA as he himself finishes up. Well, I was about to say, is he going to buy a Ring of Health just out of habit? But looks like he's gotten into the cornucopia. Or has he actually gone damage? I didn't quite see if he what component of the Battle Fury he picked up first. Cornucopia.
He got the cornucopia. Yeah. A little bit of extra sustain for him. I mean, 7+ damage it even provides you as well, which is kind of nice considering. So, like we might be the first item build up we see often now for the Phantom Assassin. But we do have those wisdom rooms coming up shortly. He should be able to. Whoa, Frisk actually got it. Okay. And now he's in a bit of trouble. He's already used the Mischief. They're going to drop the ward as well. Okay, I mean, that is a ward just for Mr. TZ.
Wonder if they saw that be placed up. Yep, he did, absolutely. So should look to get a free D ward off, although this is a much bigger kill if they're able to secure it onto Flyfly. TP coming in down to the bottom side of the map with the Underlord. He's going to be able to get the kill. I love active Underlords, man. It just feels so good to be able to move around this huge map with such effectiveness and go from farming to killing without too much of a delay.
Blue went through the rift as well, but he's going to run to XM and Frisk. Telekinesis will make sure it holds him into the cloud long enough for XM to pump out the damage. So nice little kill. XM getting involved pretty early on here for the Ricky.
Meteor, though, they're farming quite well across the board, aren't they? Actually, I'm a little surprised that doesn't have a little bit more. I guess a lot of those last hits have been the Plague Wards that he's looking to avoid for now. But early on in those early levels, you can really look to build up a lot of your experience off the back of that. So he's already hit up onto that level 6 quite early.
For bottom lane, Blast is able to close the distance, get the hoof sum set up for the arrow on Marblu. Now back to top. Well, they're coming out with the ultimate here from Ava, so the Plague's going to prove to be a bit of an issue for the Templar Assassin. And now they're going to be able to turn to TZ as well with a rotation from outside. This should be the tower going down, and well, he's even rewarded with a double kill as well. So decent chunk of network is going to be given over to the Chen as well.
Looks like Ava's gone into that Spirit Vessel that we were talking about having the potential. I was thinking maybe he would look to go into, maybe a little bit more of that aggressive build, but I mean, this one certainly fulfills that priority as well. Where else can they look to make plays, though? I mean, they've opened up a big area of the map now for the PA to be able to pick up this farm. And TA is actually the one falling behind, despite some pretty good play in the laning stage, right? Using the side blades so that you don't need to step up into those plague wards, looking to farm them as quickly as possible. They're still getting a good amount of levels, but it's just a question of how much net worth are you able to pick up on this TA? Because again, it's a pretty free TA game outside of the Venomancer. So it's just how are Meteor going to look to deal with that?
The nice thing, like, she does have that built-in accelerant with the side blades, and where PA has to farm it with the Battle Fury. So we should see her be able to leapfrog over Firefly's net worth pretty surely. Hopefully they're making some ancient stacks as well, which there is a double by the Tormentor for the boys on Dire. Top lane, Ava is trying to run through the rift, but he's going to be able to stop that shot. Marvelou even goes through the rift as well just to get involved. And now they're going to go bottom. Frisk is looking like a freebie under the tower.
Roche is coming.
Looks like he got the read, although Molasses trying to cut off the path. They might be forced to stampede, although Atos is going to be up in a couple of seconds. So, oh, they still stampede for it. So, a little bit of miscommunication. Stolen stampede, but he's not going to be able to get out of range. But with all this going on, space created because the tier 1 mid end up going down as well. So, a nice little injection of gold for the boys on Piggy Killer.
You know, this is something that they do so well, right? The macro gameplay, being able to split up the map, even if they're happy to lose a hero, if it means that they're getting 2 other lanes working in their favor. That time around, taking mid, again, mid doesn't really have the highest priority these days just because there's no objectives to really contest around it. But if it just means that the map movement becomes a little bit more tricky, they're actually going to contest this?
All right, well, they know the Stampede's on cooldown, so they won't be able to retreat, but they'll turn it on XM. Hand of God's going to be enough to keep him alive for the moment. And now the plague bounces off to the other heroes as well. So the Centaur, plenty of damage over time. Somehow again outside gets the double kill, but beautifully done. All right, that's really rewarded for him, though, was just able to get the Hand of God in the nick of time to keep XM's Ricky alive.
And XM's going for the Diffusal Blade this time around. So feeling like with how well Outside has been playing this early part of the game, they've got the damage push potential just with all of these levels that he's been able to pick up. They've got the Warpline Raider to be able to play around with and a super early mechanism that he was able to grab as well. So with that, they start this push. They're using the Plague Wards as well to be able to assist with it and make more space for that PA. Again, it's just about the efficiency plays, right? They know that they're able to take a tower, a side tower, importantly, just to be able to even set up for example, taking away the enemy's wisdom rune. Frisk, before he died, was level 7. You know, this is a Rubik that probably didn't have the easiest time in lane, but he's still got plenty of levels and a healthy amount of net worth as well.
They're actually maybe gearing up the fight on bottom. Tizzy entered the rift and looking for the angle behind. It's actually going to be top lane. Rift is out. Fly's in a lot of trouble. Arrow actually hit a creep, but it's not going to matter. Oh, never mind. He didn't cast it. Apologies. He used it at the end. They're going to go back through the rift. Frisk, he can cancel one of them if they want to. He's going to choose to not, though.
I'm always just having a look at, all right, where's Outside's net worth relative to everyone else? Before that fight, he was actually ahead of the Centaur. So you're just able to get so much farm, and it enables a greedy style of play on the Chen that he really looks to thrive with. You know, this mass aura build. I wonder when he's going to consider going into the Aghanim Shard as well, because, for example, if he's able to pick it up nice and early, then maybe it's going to be the Ricky, for example, that ends up...
Ava? It's pretty deep, my friend. Who is he going to be able to kill along with him, though? Last is going to try and TP out. Outside will not be able to secure the kill before he escapes, so 1-for-1 in the end. Of course, that is a core Venomancer with a decent chunk of net worth that goes down, though. And meanwhile, if we compare the cores, right, the carries in particular, we were saying that TA, should be able to leapfrog over the Phantom Assassin, and he's been able to do just that. Fly does have the battle review, though, computer. So even with 3 deaths, this is quite a decent timing for the Phantom Assassin.
For sure. And we can see that XM, his farming time is over. He wants to give a little bit more space for the PA to farm exactly where she wants to. It's just about him playing together with this Chen army right now. They still haven't been able to take this tier 1 tower, so looks like that's where they're going to be putting a lot of emphasis on, even just instantly Blink striking towards that range creep to be able to claim it and deal the damage into the tower, but they want to play off the back of this diffusal. Maybe he's going to farm for the next tiny bit, look to steal away perhaps the Wisdom Rune, but Underlord, he's in place. He knows that with this tower going down early, that's something that they're wanting to try and snipe away, and they're not going to let that happen.
No, they're going to get more as well. Outside now.
Ooh, the scared of the
Venom.
Venom.
Going to think twice. Yeah, we saw Ava show up, and that's going to do a quick U-turn, duck the tail, and run away. Top lane. Wait. What's going on here? Is
Dark Rift.
Okay. I thought Frisk, this was his.
Wait, he went back. What? He went through.
No. Okay, they're going to get him. So I thought it was his rift because he reacted so fast to go straight back through it. It confused me for a second.
Got to be quick on the uptake. And, well, unfortunately for TZ, it's been long enough that the Observer Ward that was placed out there previously has expired. He was down here around when that 7-minute Wisdom Rune was there, so he's not going to get value. Well, at least scout out the positioning of the PA, but without that Dark Rift available, he did block, but it's not going to give them the ability to kill the PA. That's the important thing, right? So going into the Crimson Guard on the... Wow, this is going to be a lot of damage and force another defensive TP. This is what PA wants, right? PA wants to be able to get this extra time to be able to get into that next item. They're going to give XM a lot of this creep wave. I really don't want to see Chen taking away too much of it because getting into that that diffusal blade is going to be so key.
They're going to try and take over some of the jungle, though, for Dire. We're going to try and get set up here. 4 heroes rotating down. They know, of course, Molasses has already used that TP, so they've got a great ward as well to look to utilize, but they're actually just going for Roche on Dire. So with this Desolate completed, we saw instantly last game, as soon as the carry picked up the Desolator on Meteor, they just went straight for Roshan, and they're going to be able to do it again at another pretty good timing.
Can I just say how much I appreciate the decision for the auras on Meteor Gaming this time around? Like, we've got a little bit of extra push coming from the Meteor Hammer on TZ, but have a look at the other 3 heroes outside of the TA. You've got the Greaves eventually into the mech, the mech into the Greaves on the Underlord. You've got Centaur, the scaling strength hero with the highest strength gain getting the Crimson Guard, and then you've got the Mirana getting the Pipe. They know they don't want to invest too much onto the one hero, and Mirana knows that with this Riki, he's gonna get the Aghanim Shard. So there's no real point into going into something like a 4-staff, which you might normally want, you know, against a Riki that's going to be smoke clouding someone, or a Venomancer that's going to be locking off an area. And what that does is it enables Molasses to go this little bit of a, I guess we could call it greedier build. I mean, it's not like a Blink Dagger and a Centaur is unknown, but if he was wanting to be this full aura bot, he wouldn't have been able to get into it. So I like the fact that they've spread out a lot of the net worth. And with this, they feel like they can fight. They've got all these auras to be able to play with, plus the Aegis, and they know that Piggy Killer are wanting to get aggressive. I wonder if they're going to Mirana ulti off the back of this. Look to go for a smoke, but oh, there we go. But they're going to reveal in the lane, I believe. Certainly walking underneath this vision, and well, they're going to see that they're getting right-clicked by those Plague Wards.
This is awkward. This is really, really awkward. Need a way to be able to break him out. Centaur activates the Crimson. He's going to be okay. But the Blink Dagger is continuing to be disabled, so it's going to be up to everyone else to try and start the fight on Meteor. The Boundless from afar, they should be able to bring Frisch down at least. They won't get anything more out of it, though. That was 5 heroes together on Meteor for quite some time, so Flyfly is continuing to catch up in net worth.
What's he going into? He's got the Blade of Alacrity at the moment on the PA. Is it just a rush into the Manta? I guess, but if that was the case, then I feel like he would have finished up at least the Yasha by this point, unless he just wants to rush or they get a quick kill onto the Monkey King. All right, feels good. But yeah,
he's got... So I was going to say he's got 2,400 gold, so he's holding a lot. He has not decided yet.
Might just go into the ulti orb. Is he trying to rush the Ags? But, I mean, the Dispel, like... Oh, it looks like that might be the case. I mean, he wants the Dispel against the Underlord, I suppose, just to continue to run at them. Oh, they see him.
Oh, they're rifting. Flyfly! TP's friends, hello, I need help! They might be able to get back. Wait, you gotta get the kill first? Flyfly. Oh, okay. Get the kill and now get out. Frisk, can it cancel anyone's TP? He'll stop Molasses'. They're gonna steal through the rift. Okay, at least.
They're all going.
They're following them. Whoa, do you want to take this fight now? TA, the side blades, they can bounce off each other. Ava's at least able to get the ultimate out, so Molasses is in a lot of trouble right now. XM, does he want to go for the finishing blow? If he does, it might just cost him his own life, though. That's going to be activated. Pit's up in a couple of seconds as well. If they can get out of the silence, they've got the damage, they don't. So at least he'll get the kill before Molasses gets the return in the end, but what an awkward sequence of events.
Yeah, for sure. The important thing is, though, that PA is the one that dies, right? That is the thing that you're worried about this game. He is going for this rush of the Aghanim Scepter. It's a unique build that I wasn't necessarily expecting, but you understand the reasons why, right? You want to make sure that you're just not hindered by the Underlord locking you down into position. Maybe he feels like it's going to provide him with a little bit more stats and team fight capability than something like a BKB would, for example. Not quite sure. I mean, I guess if you're just going from 1 to 1 to 1, that's going to also give you a little bit of that damage buff up as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to have the damage yet to get those kills.
Yeah.
Like, for me, when I look at this, it's like a blur. Like, it's 10-second reduction in blur. It means you can use it much, yeah.
Has to be careful here. I mean, he's getting...
Gates up. Gates up if they want to use it. And there they will. They're going to TP back towards the outskirts. Arrows off the mark. This is a much more awkward start. And God, do they still want to stick around? TZ's in a lot of trouble. Bonus armor's keeping healthy for the moment. They're going to stampede into the middle. TZ's not dead just yet. He's soaking up all the spells, and it means the rest of Dire, they're freely and able to not care about anything. Crisp will jump in and out to look to assassinate the Monkey King with his own ability. But TZ's done his job, just taking up every single damage that Piggy Killer were outputting, and means they can get 2 free kills.
I'm really surprised that Fly continued to farm down there, right? Like, he saw the Meteor Hammer damage come out in the lane. He should know that Monkey King is playing around the tree line. And again, you're against that Underlord, right? So there's potential at all times for them to be able to just run in on top of you. I was saying that, you know, late game, or at least mid to late game, TA feels incredibly strong just because you're going to be able to get into those things like the MKB, but they're feeling pretty strong now just off a lot of these pickoffs, slowing down the PA, and again, all of the auras that they've got just feel way too much for the low damage that that Piggy Killer have to be able to deal with.
So back on this Fly build, he's... The Scepter will enable you to split push. That 10-second reduction in blur means there's only a 10-second downtime, but you're not going to have a whole lot of damage inside these fights. You will not be showing up and being that PA that we're used to seeing at this stage of the game. So you're looking to stall this out for another 10, maybe even longer, depending. He's going Manta next, and again, I understand the reasoning, but that is another item that will not give him a whole lot of damage. So they are really hoping this one goes late.
What even do you go, right? Like Manta into Desolator into Nullifier? Do you think that's the mentality from him? Or do you think he could just afford to go Nullifier straight after the Manta style? Oh, very nice from Chris. Ends up getting the tower, though, on TZ. He's going to get away.
Any stunners?
Oh,
no stunners.
My God, he's playing so well, man. You got to take away the Monkey King from Meteor.
Now they're rifting for outside. Ooh, even stampeding as well. A lot of hate for the Chen. Nice arrow. Extra 100 gold getting taken out with that teleport getting used.
And Meteor are doing it, dude. Like, they are playing this incredibly well. Who has brought up the shards so far? They got to make sure they're taking this pretty quickly because Frisk and Ava are dying. Okay. Rubik gets the shot. Feels pretty nice, though, right? For the Blink Stomp arrow setup, even just lifting someone out of that Pit of Malice is going to feel pretty nice. If they're even going to make it, that they use an aggressive lift onto the Venomancer just to be able to get him in place, to be able to land that that Noxious Plague into the middle of a fight. You never know.
All right, yeah. Wait. So Ava does have the Halberd queued up. It's going to force Brute to travel along with the Spirit Vessel. But this has to be really scary position for Piggy Killer. We're probably expecting Dai just to play the map. And then, well, actually, hold that thought, because this could be a nice play, though. They're going to see the Veno TPing it and the Ricky. They've got a clear forward to utilize, so there's a lot of information. What's the call for Echo? It's going to try it. No stunners again. Oh, my. I hit someone. He's going to queue Basher up for Fly after the... What did he complete, actually?
The Yasha?
He went shard, okay. He went, no, he's avoided Manta. He's gone shard, it looks like. So he's got the fan of knives, and I'll probably bash a kid up now with everyone deeping out in his face.
You go Basher. I understand, again, I know why you need damage to it. Like, he is taking these creep camps even incredibly slow, right? And this isn't something where you're having to worry about Atrophiora, about Crimson Guard, about the pipe, about the Greaves. You've even got, again, a Pavis on the Monkey King. They realize that a huge part of the damage output that they've got on Piggy Killer is around physical, and it's going to be around this PA. So as long as you're able to address that, you feel just fine. They might even catch her as she comes up towards this area to be able to pick up a little bit more farm on the top side. As they see that one going away, they instantly start to make a bit of a movement towards her. Because, of course, with that Rod of Atos, even has a little bit more of that control. What's up?
So I was going to say, we might be surprised about the damage with the fan of knives, and I just forgot that the Ricky Smoke Cloud reduces armor by 7. So if they both target the same person down, say if it's a centaur or underlord, maybe it actually does get blown up with that 7 reduction in armor and the fan of knives with that % damage. So we shall see. We shall see. And it has to be this fight. It has to be this fight for the boys on Piggy Killer to turn this game around. If Dai get this second roast, they will be in prime position to be able to close out the game. TA, the classic second roast hero, just to roll over.
That positioning is so good.
Got a sentry in the lane. XM's going to be scouted. They're going to jump instantly. Hoof stomp with the burst. It looks like it's going to be enough. Yeah, arrow connects. And the hand of God from outside, it didn't matter, along with the Greaves, and they're looking for more. Last got to be careful his Stampede doesn't get stolen. The traps, they double silence onto 2. It's all or nothing now. You need to group up and take a fight around your ward, but they're just losing members one by one. Ava gets caught out by the Atos as well. Meteor drops straight on the dome. And Templar Assassin was able to do it last game, and it looks like she might be able to repeat that success as well. Top of the net worth, 7-1-5.
Another really, really solid game, though. But again, it's all just set up by the Monkey King and his positioning, right? Scouts out the smoke, helps them get the initial jump onto him, and it's even going to become easier now as soon as they take out this Roshan. Of course, you're going to have the second life, but that'll give them the gold bounty that Echoes needs to get into the Aghanim Scepter. So with any sort of lockdown that you're going to have on the initial case, you could just use the Pit of Malice instantly onto that PA. You catch her out. At least she's going to be able to have that blur to be able to apply the dispel off. Potential. I mean, it just depends on what the vision looks like, right? They just want to be able to pick off hero after hero. It kind of feels like a repeat of the last game, right? They build up this 10k plus net worth lead. It honestly mirrors the way that Piggy Killer have been playing this entire season, right? They play a really solid early game. They've got a good draft that buys a bunch of auras, ball up, and go in together. There's no real need to greed this one out. You've got all of the items that you could have possibly wanted, and the most important one, yeah, you said they've got into the halberds. Wait, have they even finished any halberds yet? Like, no halberds on Piggy Killer. So he's gone away from it, I guess, on Ava. I think you mentioned that he queued it up previously, but I mean, it doesn't matter, right? TA's got the MKB, so you could probably burst people down. I'm not sure, does he have a Blink Dagger coming out? Yeah, he does. So this is the time where he's done farming. He wants to be able to push with the rest of the boys. Of course, leaving Echoes away from the team because he could join in at any time.
Yeah, and before this push, we've got to speak about it. He's got a scepter on the Underlord.
Yep. So this is the thing. I was mentioning that if they do find the PA, she dies, right? Because, I mean, most of the time you might be looking to just farm with the blur on just so that you're not going to get caught out by this Monkey King. Doesn't seem like they're interested in stopping her, though. They feel like she's not going to be able to do anything. Again, like, no real item progression coming through from Fly once again, holding on to a lot of gold. You can see there's a DD in mid lane. That would help, but that's an aggressive rip through, maybe just hoping to try and catch someone, but they catch the Venom anyway.
It was a very cool attempt, though.
Almost level 18, and we'll be able to buy up, I guess, at least the Ultimate Orb component, or depends what she wants to really pick up here. Taking away the Wisdom Room would feel nice.
On
top.
Looks like both sides should be able to fly. 28 minutes. He wants farm instead.
I don't know, that level 20. Again, I'm going to put it on this PA. Like, you just need to burst people 100 to 0 before any reactions can come. And that's into all of these auras.
There you go.
Arrow connects.
Oh, whoa, double side blade. Ava's just not gone. Okay, nice force. They didn't heavily commit.
Can you even leave
Lash
through
is
that
in an awkward spot. No, he can't. Maybe they think he did, though. Well, they should.
Nope,
Well,
not anymore.
someone cut the tree. Someone get him out. Get him out. He's chilling.
Firefly once again looking to farm, but he's missed out on this wisdom rune. So could that be the difference between him reaching up into this level 20 before he's able to come back, having the Manta style available?
Boundless sets up for the arrow, but again, great use of the telekinesis. Frisk is always ready.
He's just still looking to try and greed it out as much as possible. Which is in the bottom lane. Maybe look to farm the Ancients, but I guess feels like they might have that high ground water. They've got the Watcher enabled as well, which would reveal his positioning. It's one full lane of racks. They had to give something up at this stage just to enable this PA to potentially influence the next team fight. Once again, 30 minutes, another Ancient camp set. We'll get them... they've got all tier 3 items available. They're still holding on to a tier 2, I believe, the Gossamer Cape on the Rubik. What else could they look to get? Maybe a Psychic Headband. When they died previously up top on the Venomancer, I know it was like 5-10 minutes ago, but Rubik actually tried to go for the Telekinesis save before the arrow hit, but it was just that the Centaur was literally right on top of the Venomancer that he ended up lifting himself with the Lotus Orb in onto him, so he didn't really have too much control in that team fight.
Whoa, they're going around. Ava outside the base. Molasses, they're going to be able to miss a beautiful sidestep. Ava's still in a lot of trouble, though. The damage raining in is too much for him to handle. The Firefly's back inside the base, so with the Manta completed.
It's not level 20, though.
Let's see what the target's going to be. Frisk for the stolen hoof stop with the jump in. Bye-bye, Mirana. In and out goes Firefly. Refresh of the spells. He's out to safety. Beautiful dance from the Phantom Assassin, but can they keep it up? It's a 4-on-4 now. Age is out in 30 seconds. This is looking a little bit scary for Dire.
Remember, they got the break with the fan.
Oh, they might be able to turn it around, though. Centaur again, Frisk. Another double stun.
Oh, but they went out.
How is he up to full on Molasses? Jump in. They're onto the Phantom Assassin, and they've got the MKB as well, so Firefly's in some trouble. A little bit more damage required. And the pit's going to be there, raining in from afar, holding down the PA, who doesn't have a buyback and has all of their damage. Centaur still in a little bit of trouble. But Crimson Lotus activated. He's going to shrug it off and go back in because TA, they know there's a sign of weakness now in this game and they want to close it out.
You're praying for a 4-star back into the fountain sort of play, but without that PA, really the only one that you're worried about is, I guess, the Venomancer, just tossing in that latent toxicity onto him just to try and get a little bit of that damage through. They won't be able to take out anyone, though, as they just look to regen back up in the fountain. Instantly rejoin into the team fight. I mean, Molasses, he's going into an Aghanim Scepter of his own. Wouldn't have it too far away either. Couldn't really have asked for too much more.
Look, I usually won't be like, damn, Rubik crazy stolen ability with Hustom, but that is back-to-back double stuns we saw from Frisk, and honestly was some of the better sequences we saw out of them for the entirety of this game. So maybe you can make something crazy work with it, but it's...
Yeah. They just weren't connected though, right? Firefly blinked out as he blinked in, so they weren't able to get that continuous damage. I don't want to say it again, but Firefly did miss that Wisdom Rune, and he's still level 19. Maybe the additional 60 damage from the Phantom Strike could have netted them another kill, would have put them in a more dangerous spot so that he wouldn't have had to blink out. Maybe you snowball that into an additional kill. You don't go a lane of racks down. But obviously it wasn't the case. They're still looking to hunt for more.
Though. Yeah, they've got this ward for a couple extra seconds, but they might see Teasy. Probably not the most valuable pick off. They re-put the... They're going to re-smoke.
Might be using Firefly as bait here. See that there's creeps dying in this lane.
Just wait for top to get shoved in.
Yeah. And it's not like they have an Underlord, so they can't look to address it and then get right back onto the map.
Shen's the only one without the shard, so they are still missing 3 shards as well, so nice at least to be able to take the Tormentor away.
I think they're they holding on to all of them and they just haven't used them?
Who's
They
this,
are.
sorry?
The Dire, the tier 3 tokens. Oh, the shards. Sorry, I thought you were talking about neutral items.
Oh, let's see what they can do off the back of this. Nice shadow into the smoke, trying to close the distance out of the map and do it at a speedy rate. Frisk pretty far outside the base. Fly.
They found him.
Oh no, he should know. He should know. The Sanch out of the trap though is going to prevent the jump away. With a hand of God, telekinesis, Fly sent up to the high ground. Great defensive play from Piggy Killer. They're able to keep the Phantom Assassin alive, but the Venomancer will not have the same fate.
They could look to take away the Tormentor. Why not? Venomancer is so key. Oh, yeah, look how quickly it dies. I mean, Venomancer is so key to the high ground defense that I'm honestly a little surprised that they haven't instantly looked to move mid and look to take away that tier 3 tower. It was already so low, maybe just wanting to set up around Roshan, but again, every minute that ticks by where you don't address this PA, you just allow it to get that little bit stronger. We feel like PA is probably one of the few heroes left in the game that could really just look to 1v5. It just depends on a little bit of luck, right? That critical hit chance, it's only 15%, but sometimes it can feel more like 50.
And for them, at least, this game is going to be sorted out for another 2 minutes, just under, with the long Roche spawn, so will be probably enough time for Fly to get the Basher, but they don't know that it's a long Roche spawn, so they're forced to come outside the base. They don't want to give this up for free. We saw what happened last time with that TA where she was able to hit the high ground off the back of that second life. They're looking to make sure that is not a possibility. This is not an easy fight for them. Wrapping all the way on the left side of the map through the bridge they go. XM leading the charge for the potential last time this game, unless it's clean. Smoke pops and they see them under the trap. What? The route to 4. They're in shambles now. Echoes again. They're in such a choke point. How do you get out of the pit? It's going to be a disaster with how it started. Fly's going to try and put work in, but the PA just never found a target. Frisk will buy back instantly. Outside will not escape. Oh, wow. What a scepter.
So it's that Plague Ward that just died at the very end there on the Centaur that did it. I mean, it was the... your favorite Aghanim shard in the game, the TA shard, just that little bit of extra vision that the trap gave. They saw the Plague Ward that had been laid down. They knew they were making that sort of move. It was still a guess with the Dark Rift coming in, but
look at this.
They've set up for it again. They found
the trap from the Templar Assassin into the tree line, and they call Fly. Locked inside with the Atos, is going to be able to reposition. But XM, he's the one in trouble. Great time with the BKB. He's able to get out, but Fly, he wants to get in. But the Axe Shot does nothing. They've been able to burn the refraction. TA's in actually a lot of trouble. Some signs of life. This is the fight they've been waiting for, but the heroes are just melting.
They just got to get Fly out.
Behind. And off the back of the Templar Assassin buyback, she's looking to get back in. They've scouted out Ava. Wolf holds the retreat, and they're already looking for more as well. Fly, no escape. He's going to try and bring some members down before he dies, but he won't be able to do so. As a 5-man wipe should be able to spell the end of Piggy Killer in their final series. And this means that we have some more spicy tiebreakers coming up.